Hi, this is High Templar with my Total War Warhammer Mechanics video, and today we'll be talking about infantry formation. Now, this video was created with the help of Torik, who sat with me for a few hours making different tests, and I wanted to thank him very much for that. You can also see his page, some of the pages, some of the work he's doing in the description for this video. Now let's get this test going. So first I wanted to talk about formation for the infantry, and that is wide or narrow formation. So that's a very wide subject. This is a narrow formation many ranks deep, and this is wide formation few ranks deep. Obviously the worst thing to have a narrow formation is when you are up against artillery, any kind of artillery really. So here we are up against cannons, and a single, if you get hit, and it's not as easy to get hit if you have this formation because you are pretty much smaller target right now, maybe wider but thinner. So what will happen here? We have 120 men, a hit, 7 guys, 1 guy more, and with the 3 hits that actually hit the unit, we only have 13 deaths, whereas here, let's just see that. So 106 right now, and let's just wait for some nice hit. As you can see, this is a much bigger target, and these are incoming bullets, cannonballs actually. Down to, with 2 hits, down to 94. So it's not a great difference, but it is a difference, and it's easier to hit that. Just because bullets and rocks thrown by everything are just traveling more, overshooting, traveling more after they hit the ground, still bouncing back. So there is obviously more kills there. And there is much more to the formation. Let's just see how just normal attacks from the handgunners or the crossbowmen at the units will go. Previously, in previous Total War games, you could always see the top players doing a very wide formation most of the time. And that was due to how the range mechanics worked there. And not also range, we will go into that further. But here we have 4 dwarves warriors, 2 with very wide, 2 with very deep formations. We call that narrow or deep formation. So many ranks deep you have here, and here only like 3 ranks deep. So let's just see what will happen if we start firing at those units. So obviously those guys are being hit by handgunners, and they are being hit a lot because they are providing a wide front for those guys. Now those guys are getting less. You can see that 1500 compared to 48. So there is not a big difference, but there is a difference. When it comes to crossbowmen, it's actually the opposite. 5200 compared to 5400, right? Let's just continue this firing for some time, and you will start to notice certain pattern. So we have 3700, 3000 actually. So it gone to even less. So this is even more effective right now, even though it was losing at the start. 35 and 4000. So it's quite obvious that wide formation gives you actually better chances against any range unit, including handgunners. Also handgunners, it will be less of a difference with the handgunners, but still it is, as you can see. So there you go. this unit is still alive. So yeah, it is best against crossbowmen, archers, and so on, but it's still something to go on with handgunners. This is your standard. This is something you would see a lot in the competitive plays, tournaments. People will do that, but the formation not only not only work on your how your units are taking for fire. It is also very important in the hand-to-hand combat itself. So you would see that the difference between winning and losing the combat is pretty much tied to the formation. And I've seen many people on the internet complaining that they lost some fights even though they should have, and that was mostly because they were using wrong formation. So here we have standard formation, greatsword, charging at my greatswords. One have very deep formation and one have very wide formation. Let's just see how that works. So as you can see, it's not that much of a difference between this one and this one, but there is a lot of difference between this one and this one. So they charge at each other. And first thing you would notice that the unit that was very deep, 700 versus 7100, lost. It started to lose, although as the battle continues, you would see that this unit is losing more health than this unit. Why is it so? Firstly, on the charge, when you are getting wrapped around, some of the units that didn't get a charge from very deep unit but narrow are getting charged in the back by this great swordman who got a charge and hit them in the side. So that's why this unit is losing on a charge. However, later on, this unit is still losing this fight, but it's losing his health less rapidly than this unit because less of the swordman is fighting. So let's just see how this will work out for those units. Very narrow unit of greatsword has defeated those greatsword, and there are some greatsword to spare. You can charge them in the back of another unit. That's true. There is not much health left on those greatsword, but there is still 54 greatsword alive, and they will be hitting. So if you win that battle, you can swoop around by the flank and hit them in the back, and that's very helpful. The other unit is losing, so there is 5400 to 3100, but they are still alive. And you can use that basically to your advantage. If you want to stay alive more, but we'll be losing this fight either way, you can make a formation that is more deep, basically. And that is the difference between losing and winning the battle, as you can see here. That's quite a difference, I would say. And let's just see. Now, this is not the only place when the depth of the formation is very important. The depth of formation for the infantry is extremely important at all times. However, it is not always that the wide formation is better. So, this is some. Let's see how the narrow formation, deep formation of spears and the wide formation spears will react to the charges. So this unit will be hitting this unit hit the spearman, and this unit will hit the spearman anytime soon. Now, and those cavalry charges have stopped. However, look at how those spearmen look at those spearmen. You see those are falling, they are only starting to get back on their feet, whereas those guys have stopped the unit quite handsomely but got wrapped around. So there is something you lose and something you win on this part. And that unit of chariots were stopped, whereas this unit of chariots got right through their spears and getting further. So if you have a wide spear formation and you want to shield your units like quarrelers, handgunners. I mean, handgunners is a bad example, but crossbowmen, archers, whatever, and you are shielding them behind the spear unit, you can see that they will not stop chariots. And here you also have the infantry engagement. After the infantry engagement, you can see that those guys have lost 5,900, whereas this unit 5,400. But this engagement is still taking place, right? We'll cycle charge, and as you can see, this unit is already losing morale a lot. That chariot got a bit stuck here, but it's not, and this is not the best test, but I will show you a better one. I just wanted to show you what is the difference between, here we are cycle charging the Centigors. So in the very wide formation, my Centigors are killing those spears even though the spear is anti-cav unit. However, it's cheaper, so it's not a big surprise that they were defeated by Centigors. But this is a good matchup because you will lose more than 300 gold on those Centigors, a lot more. Here we have huge losses on the chariot, but this chariot stayed in, so this is not the best test. Here we have a lot more health on both Centigors and the spears. So the narrow formation, deep formation in this case, works pretty much the same as in melee combat before. Those units will stay alive for a longer time. But the wide formation will lose. So let's just see how this will work out. And this is the end of that unit. Even light cav was able to destroy them, whereas this unit has destroyed this light cav. And the chariot will in time destroy this unit, however with a great losses. I mean, there was almost no health left on these guys. So here is a much better matchup, because spears are very weak, so you would want to put your heaviest anti-cav units. So let's just see, and this is quite obvious, this heavy cav unit will totally stop the Cygors in the wide formation. They wouldn't be able to get through. However, so the narrow formation is not always the answer. However, we'll still get, if you want to shield something, it would be better to use more ranks. Let's just see how heavy cav and Gordy's chariots, which are only slightly heavier than the Beastmen's War, will go against men-at-arms, polearms. So that is your, except for maybe Chaos Warriors with the halberds, your best defense against cav. And again, the same story. This chariot got through men-at-arms, throwing them, going exactly through. This unit of cav went pretty much through this unit of men-at-arms. This unit of cav got stopped completely, and this unit of chariot got stuck in the group. So these chariots won't be going through the lines and destroying your archers, anything like that. And so is this cav. This cav, you could pull through this cav, as you can see. You could pull through because there is no formation here. You just have to put few orders on this way and they would go and they would be able to break through your men-at-arms. So let's just see, we will cycle charge all the units. Cycle charging them all the time. And see the results. My Chaos Knights with Lances are able to wrap around men-at-arms. So they are dealing a lot of damage to them. It won't always be able to do that in the battle because there will be a line of them. However, the narrow formation, deep formation of men-at-arms has still 71 men alive, whereas the Knights with Lances are losing, even though they cycle charge all the time. This men-at-arms is dealing a lot of damage to this Gorby's chariot. A lot of damage. It's half of the health, less than half of the health still. And they are still alive. This unit of chariot got through the men-at-arms. They are broken and there is no health at all. There is no damage on this chariot. Like almost nothing. And here we have another cav unit, Chaos Knight with Lances, attacking white formation, and see that difference. This Chaos Knights with Lances, only 24 alive, very little health, and those guys are quite healthy, and there is some men left alive here. This is a broken unit of men-at-arms being attacked by the Chaos Lances that are still 49 men with like 3/5 of their health, I would say. Pretty drastic difference. And even though chariots will be able to break through this men-at-arms finally, as you can see here, and there will be 4 chariots still alive here, their health would be quite diminished. And do remember that this unit is 1200 cost, and this one is 5.500. And also that this unit is very weak against cav and other forces like that. If flying units land on it, or if cav attacks it, it's dead. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is how much of a difference formation does. And you have to match your formation to your enemy. And match your formation to what you want to do. If you see that your enemy has lots of light cav and you want to kill them, and you have like spears with shields, for example, you may want to go for the light formation, for white formation, to stop them, to deal the most damage to them if you want to kill them. But if you want to shield your guys and allow the archers behind you to just pummel them, maybe take 2 guys more, make deeper formation and just wait for them to shoot, because those guys cannot cycle charge very well, because whenever they are incoming charge or running away, they will be hit by those arrows. So if your enemy has a lost cav, deep formation much better than one formation, and if he has heavy cav or chariots, it is an absolute must. So this is it. I hope you like it. If you did, press like. If you want to comment, please leave a comment. And I also would like to recommend my other Let's Plays. In Total War Warhammer, my mechanics videos, my Let's Plays in other games. Thank you for watching and see you later.